Hey guys, Zeke D WinStar here, or just Zeke WinStar, call me what you will. Now, what I'm here to do is break down my character of Zeke D WinStar, or Ezekiel Dragnell WinStar. But we'll worry about that later, but as we're going to focus more on his past. Like, in sections, but only in pieces. Now, Zeke's past, you would think is, oh, that's not too bad. Well, I mean, at 9, he was literally tossed to I heard by his father, Dad wanted to teach him how to swim, and he figured let me throw him in and he'll be fine. Well, yeah, Dad found out real quick that no. Zeke was not fine. He sunk like a stone. Drowned, came back, and, well, let's just say Dad didn't want anything to do with it after that. Now, after that, though, years down the line, about, I'd say, 16, 17, probably about 19, Zeke almost gets hit by a car. Now, you would think that'd be normal or odd, depending on who you are, but, a red sports sedan almost hitting him, just coming off the road, out of nowhere. But hey, he's fine, though the school wouldn't have been. Or at least the building wouldn't have been, but besides the point. So, after that, we have the equivalent of Zeke finally meeting, you guessed it folks, Carl Clover. And yes, this is a breakdown. This is a continuation of, I guess you could say, Carl Clover's breakdown. Well, unfortunately, Carl's away and doing stuff. Supposedly on vacation, as far as I know. Don't know where, though. But I can guarantee you that now, with Zeke having his abilities, Zeke's abilities range from Kinjutsu, Kendo, martial arts mostly. And I know what you're all going to say, you took this idea from someone else. No, his styles are not entirely based on breathing, but they are based on sword styles. Now, when he doesn't have his sword with him, he does carry a boken. Now, even if that were to break, he has one more aspect, which this ability is still hard to fully explain, but think Yu Hakusho's Clover's Spirit Sword. Just better. The difference is it's not comprised from his spirit, but, well, no. It's comprised from his spirit, but also comprised from air, like air pressure. Now, the difference with this would be that Zeke can sit here and use this at any point in time. Later. He's not exactly polished with it at the moment, so it's kind of like Clover when he first had it, but again, probably still better. Cooler. And no, not that cooler, folks. I know exactly what you guys were thinking in the comments. I'm not speaking of DBZ's cooler, no. I mean, like, cooler. Now, aside from the wind-based and martial arts-based abilities that I'm going to break down piece by piece here, I will say that his overall swordsman abilities are suitable, except when it comes to a certain someone. Now, that someone will not be named yet, but they will be named later. I'm going to let that marinate for a while for you all. Now, from all of this, Zeke's strengths are speed, perception, and the overall fact of that he's also able to basically see, I guess you could say 30 seconds into the future. Well, I wouldn't really call it future. It's more of a wishy-washy, timey-wimey type thing. But there's a fun ability Zeke has, which I know what you're all thinking. Oh, so he has some ability where if he dies, he revives. Yes, he does, but not in the way you're thinking. So what Zeke can do is like the prestige. Yes, Zeke will be able to prestige himself. Limited at the moment. So about 3 or 4 times at best, but he can only use it about 3 times total. If he uses it 4th, then somebody will show up and let's just say Zeke and them don't get along at all. So, with all that being said, Zeke's weaknesses would be someone either able to perceive his movement before he can make it, or basically in a what you would call a vacuum sealed room. Now, that being done, you would think, oh, hey, that's a big weakness for Zeke. Well, yeah, it is. It's like being in a microwave for him. So, that all being said, Zeke does have a interesting individual that he used to know, or at least has seen, but they've only spoken once, and that was in his high school years. Though they have not spoken since. Kind of funny, really. Anyway, with Zeke having to have all these strengths and weaknesses, I know what you're thinking. He sounds cliche. I know. The difference is that Zeke didn't start swordsmanship and training for, you would think, oh, hey, he did this for personal reasons. No. He did this to better himself. Now, I know this is going to also sound cliche. Oh, so he did it for his mom and father. No, he did it for his grandmother and grandfather. Now, yes, these were the only two who paid Zeke any attention, any love, care, basically taught him, you know, the usual principles and morals that you would want to be taught. Now, with all that being said, you would think, hey, this sounds pretty cliche. Why should I care? Well, you should care because, one, there's a character I also need to break down later, but I'll just leave you with the name, Carter. Now, aside from that, Zeke will be assisting Carl with any of his, I guess you could say, ragtag missions, occupations, you know, stuff like that, while being a therapist on the side. Now, you would think, okay, so why or how is Zeke, or the reason for Zeke doing this? Well, he might also want a slight issue of revenge. And I know what you're thinking. You're gonna be like, hey, it's revenge against Carter, right? No. The other individual I will keep posted to my own personal low value. Oh, but speaking of Zeke, we do have a rendition of portrait of Zeke at the current moment. I'm still working on a few other details, but yeah, I could show that to you at some point when I get the chance, or my other breakdown, but I'll worry about that later. For the time being, until then, I guess I'll be assisting Carl in his endeavors with this. So, you know, it's not like it's a big deal or anything, but I will say, like, comment, subscribe, and, yeah. For the time being, I guess that's it. Then again, Zeke is still just so OP, but again, that'll be a character breakdown for later. At least when we get to that point in the value in terms of our work. So, all I can say is, I'm going to leave you with a cliffhanger. Because my only question I have for this last little bit is, who do you think Zeke is really going after? Well, I guess that's everything. Gotta go.